What's up guys, Nick Nadoku here. By popular demand, I want to go through how I use credit cards to travel for free, as well as give you a couple pointers about credit cards in general. So if that sounds exciting to you, let's just jump right into it. Please pay me back by giving a gentle tap to the like button, and as a reward for doing so, I will present you with a picture of a duck. So I'd like to explain what credit card points are. So for certain credit cards, when you spend money on them, let's say you spend $10, you might get 10 points back. And those points usually are worth like 1 cent per point or so, but it depends on what category you use them for. If you redeem them for cash back, it could be a pretty low cent per point value, or if you redeem them for travel, it could be better. So depending on what you use it for, it could be valued differently, so keep that in mind. Some credit cards will offer you a sign-on bonus when you sign up for their card. And the example that I'm going to use today is the Chase Sapphire Preferred, which offers you 60,000 points when you spend $4,000 on the card in the first 3 months. Now, this card has a $95 a year annual fee, but it does have a $50 a year hotel credit, so if you buy a hotel in the portal, it'll just give you $50 back. So the real cost of the card is like $45 a year, but in the first year, you're getting $750 worth of value as long as you redeem the sign-on bonus for travel. Technically, you could just spend the sign-on bonus in the first year, as well as the hotel credit, and then cancel the card. Or what you could do is downgrade that card to a Freedom or a Freedom Flex or something like that. Any card that doesn't have an annual fee, that way you could just keep the credit line open. So either one of those would work, or you could just keep the card because it's pretty good and it will only cost you like $45 a year. So credit card companies offer things like this because they make a lot of money understanding that people are in general going to be very irresponsible with their cards. They're going to spend money that they don't have, and then they're going to carry a balance and have to pay interest on that. But you're a smart person, so you're not going to do that. You're going to do what I do, which is when you get the card, you immediately set it to auto pay and you treat it exactly like a debit card. So instead of the money coming out as soon as you pay for something, it just takes like the end of the month and then it just takes all of it. So you're only spending money that you were going to spend anyway on gas, groceries, whatever. But instead of it getting taken out right now, it all gets taken out on the 1st or whatever the day is. So if you do that, you're just spending money anyway, but now you're getting points too. So that's what I recommend doing. And if you're anything like me, just spending your gas, groceries, your normal expenses, it's pretty easy to spend $3,000 in 3 months, or $4,000 or $5,000, whatever. So what I do is I will spend the $3,000 or $5,000, whatever it is, and as soon as I get the points, I never use that card again, and I just get another card. I make sure that I pay it off. It's not like the money isn't getting paid. I pay it, but then I just get another card and I do the same thing, and in the next 3 months I get the new sign-on bonus, and then I do it again and again and again and again. And I'm a real estate agent and I own apartments, so it's very easy for me to come up with expenses for things like this. For example, last week there was an electrical problem at my apartment building. I hired an electrician to come deal with it. It was $590, but I had just gotten the Chase Freedom Flex, which I needed to spend $500 for the sign-on bonus. So I just put it on that card, and now I'm never going to use that card again, but I got the 20,000 point bonus for it. If you are struggling to hit the minimum spend for one of these, I encourage you to think outside the box of things that you are going to spend money on anyway, and think what you might be able to spend money on. So one thing that I did was I called my insurance company, and I was like, I know my bill isn't up yet, but is there any chance that I can pay you a year in advance? And they were like, yeah, okay, that's fine. Another thing I did was I asked my friends, I was like, do you have any big expenses coming up? And they were like, oh, I was going to buy an iPhone. I was like, can you just give me the money for the iPhone and I can buy it with my card? And they were like, yeah, fine. So you can do anything like that. And as long as the money goes through your card, it makes no difference. Another thing that you could do technically is called manufactured spending. And I'm not recommending that you do this, but you could. All you would have to do is go to Walmart and just buy a bunch of Visa gift cards. And then with those Visa gift cards, you could buy a money order. And with this money order, you can deposit the money right back in your bank account so that you just generated spending that didn't exist. Now, credit card companies do not like when you do this. And if you do it too much, they're going to catch on to you. But if you spend $3,000 of the $4,000 that you need to, you could probably technically get away with doing that for the next 1,000, although I don't recommend you do it because they don't like it. Also, keep in mind that if you have a limited credit history, signing up for a new card could negatively affect your credit score. So, if you're planning on getting a house or a car loan or anything in the next couple months, I would recommend waiting to do something like this. But if you have like 15 cards like I do, when I sign up for a new card, it might go from like $798 to like $795 or something. Like it makes no difference whatsoever for me. Another trick that I do is if I have a bunch of cards that I no longer use and they don't have an annual fee, I want to keep them open because they increase my credit history and it makes it so like I have a longer line of credit. It just helps my score be good. So what I'll do is every couple months, I'll go to the gas station and I'll put $3 on every one of my cards. I'll be there for a long time and I hope there's no one behind me. But I'll go through every one of my cards and put like $3 on, and that's enough to keep the credit line open so the company doesn't close the account. Now, of course, do your own research, but if I were just starting again from scratch, the setup that I would recommend first is called the Chase Trifecta, and that's when you get the Sapphire Preferred along with the Freedom Flex or the Freedom Unlimited. And the reason for these three cards is because Chase has a 5x24 rule, meaning if you sign up for 5 new credit cards in the past 24 months, they're automatically going to deny you for any new cards that you sign up for. And the Chase cards are very, very valuable for their points redemptions. So you want to get these out of the way first, and then after the Chase cards, you want to go after the Amex, the Citi, the Capital One, anything like that. So when you get the Freedom Flex and the Freedom Unlimited, they say that they offer a $200 cashback, but the cashback is actually paid in ultimate rewards points. So if you have the Sapphire Preferred, all that you have to do is transfer the rewards points from one of those cards over to the Sapphire Preferred, and then you can use the points towards travel or transferring over to travel partners, which is where you get the best value for it. So in planning my last vacation, I'm in New York, so I wanted to go somewhere warm that isn't snowy, so that I could go to a beach. Hopefully there would be some people who speak English, and I'd prefer if there was not a lot of crime and that my exchange rate was somewhat favorable so my money would go a little bit further. With a quick Google search, I was able to narrow it down to a couple countries. And next what I did was I went to a website called matrix.ita software. Now this is a very powerful tool by Google, and it's better than Google Flights or Expedia or anything like that because you can be very vague with your criteria of where you want to go. And generally, the more vague that you can be, the more value you're going to end up getting. So using the matrix.ita software, all I had to do was search flights from my airport in Albany to Panama City, Panama, and I said I would be fine with any day in January. I'll go there for 4 to 8 days. Just show me what the cheapest flight is. And the cheapest one was, I think, Delta for like $350. So all I did was I booked that in the American Express app at 1 cent per point value, and that was it. So for my hotel, I knew that I could choose between Marriott, Hilton, or Hyatt if I wanted to transfer my points over to them and get a better redemption value. So I did a quick search, and I saw this beautiful Hyatt hotel that was 5 stars, that was $400 per night, but it only cost 15,000 Hyatt points. And I know that Chase points transfer over to Hyatt points at a 1-to-1 ratio, so all I had to do was transfer over 90,000 Chase points to be able to stay 6 nights at this $400 a night hotel, meaning I got a $2,400 stay for 90,000 points, which is a 2.6 cent per point redemption value, which is very, very good. So every vacation is going to have different circumstances, and you're going to have a slightly different plan than what I had. But I hope that this gives you a roadmap of different ideas that you can do to maybe get better value for points. And if you're interested in getting a new card, I added some refer a friend links in the description, and I'd appreciate if you use them. But sometimes you get a better value if you go to the company directly. So if you were interested in the Sapphire Preferred, I would Google search Sapphire Preferred, Sometimes they'll offer you 75,000 points. Maybe my link is 60,000. I don't know the numbers exactly, but maybe it's the same. But I would just double check just to be sure. I have no hard feelings if you don't choose mine. So do your own research. If you're interested in doing this, I definitely recommend it. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll try to make more videos like this. Please like, subscribe, comment for the algorithm, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask them to me. My channel is not big enough that I won't have time to answer all of you. So, thank you, and I'll see you next time.